Hi, welcome back to my lab. Today I have this indicator CD605 from BF Goodrich. This is a CRT display, a color one. There is an on-off switch and a dim potentiometer. There is a range switch and a test switch. On the rear there is a sub-D connector, 25 pins. And you can see the ident plate of this instrument. And there is a small document here. It is written bad from supply. I guess this is only an indicator. I don't think that there is inside the CPU board or something like that to display something. I think this is just a monitor. First, let's open this thing to see what is inside. Okay, so we can see the CRT and the deflection coils. We should be inside this thing here. This thing is spotted. We can see the coils inside. There are several boards on this unit and a small fan. So this is the high voltage power supply. There is one board here, another small one. This is attached to the sub-D connector and another one here. It seems difficult to remove these screws. I think I have the correct Allen key. The screws are stuck on this thing. Okay, on this side it's much easier. I don't know why. This board seems to be a power supply board. We have an LM317. There is a LM393. This is a dual comparator. And this seems to be an optocoupler. Yes. And there is another comparator and two regulators. Plus 5 volts, and the second one 12 volts. So this is the switch mode power supply. It's probably the controller here. Yeah, so this is the classic TL494. And the switching transistor here. This is a MOSFET. Okay, so this is a power supply. And the second board here is probably the board which permits the deflections, horizontal and vertical. We can see an IC here with a dissipator attached to it. So this is maybe the power stage for the deflection coil. So it should be possible to find the power supply input. We can see that there is a shunt resistor here which permits to measure the current for the controller. This is 0.025 ohm. So this is connected to the source of this MOSFET here. So this is normally connected to the negative power supply input. Okay, so I will use the continuity tester. Okay, so we can see that it is connected to that pin. Actually, these two pins on the bottom side, this one and this one. And we can see also that the two pins on the top side here is connected to this inductor. So this is a filter. Okay, and the inductor is connected to this point. So this is effectively the positive power supply. Okay, so that makes sense. The negative side here and the positive side on the top. Okay, so we can see that there are also some test points. Minus 12, plus 30, plus 5, plus 12. Okay, so we just need to find the corresponding pins on the rear connector, and it should be possible to supply this thing. Okay, so this is the positive power supply. Okay, so the positive power supply corresponds to these two pins of the sub-D, this one and this one. So the ground should be close to that point. Okay, so this is pins number 2 and 3. Okay, I have connected this thing to a 28 volt power supply. Okay, I am going to turn on the power supply. Okay, we have something on the screen. It is difficult to see with the camera, but there is a kind of flickering. I try to turn on the lamp. It is not obvious. Okay, we can see that the CRT works. Okay, we can check the power supplies. There is a voltage of 11.9 instead of 12, 5.05 for the plus 5 volts, minus 12, and 29.5 for the 30 volts. The power supplies seem okay. I try another solution. Perfect. You can see the reference of the deflection coils. Manufacturer is Wintron. And we can have a better view of the CRT. So we can see also a new metal shield here. Now we can see that there is a special part here with a specific sticker, as you can see. So let's have a look on the part number. If I can remove this thing, it is maybe a PAL or something like that, or maybe a small microcontroller. Okay, so this is a PROM 82S129 from Philips. Interesting. Otherwise, we have some standard parts. 4520, so this is a dual binary counter. And we have 4046, so this is a PLL. And we have a CA, I cannot see the reference, 1391. I don't know, I will place the data sheet. And here there is a transistor or a regulator, maybe. IRF something, so this is a MOSFET. And there is a L293. It reminds me something, but I don't remember. And there is a part with a dissipator on the top. So this is probably the amplifier for the vertical deflection. You can see that we have two wires connected to the deflection coils here. And there are some SMD passive parts on the bottom side of this PCB. It can be interesting to do the reverse of this thing in order to understand how to interface this thing. I can see also these four wires. They are connected to this flat cable, and the flat cable is connected somewhere on the CRT, but I don't know where. Okay, we can see this flat cable which goes below this mechanical stuff here. It is annoying because we need to desolder all wires to remove this board. There are two coils here with four wires, so these two coils are probably common mode filter. Okay, and didn't see, but there is an SO 16 part here. This is the SN75175. I have no idea. I will find the data sheet. As you can see, this CRT has a single beam. You can see that we have a simple pair of deflection coils and nothing more. And you can see that we have also a few number of wires connected to the CRT. So obviously this thing is a color single beam CRT. I made some researches on internet to find the different methods in order to have a color CRT using a single beam. I found different systems. The first system is called the beam index CRT, but it is not the case because I have done the complete reverse engineering and all the magic is actually in the front. of the CRT. This is located in the half of inch here thing, but this thing is attached to the CRT. It is not possible to see what is inside. The selection of the color is performed using this flat cable with 4 wires. Okay, so this flat cable is connected to the board here. I have removed that board. It is here. The schematic diagram is here. So this is the circuit which permits the selection of the color. So you can see that we have a prom here, as we have seen, 82S129. So there are 4 outputs which are connected to this quad driver, L293. These 4 wires are connected to the front of the CRT. It is, as we have seen, these 4 wires here. Okay, they are connected here. It is below this metallic stuff. It goes inside the CRT. So this permits the selection of the color. The addresses of this prom come from this 8-bit counter. The clock of this 8-bit counter is provided using a PLL. The one input of the PLL is the clock frequency here, and the second input of the phase comparator is connected to the MSB of the counter. So that means that this frequency is 256 times the clock frequency here. In other words, you have a complete sweep of the addresses here during one cycle of the input signal here. So obviously the video signal should be synchronized to that clock frequency. So I don't know exactly the content of this prom. It is of course possible to desolder this prom and to see the content, but I think the best solution is to apply a clock frequency at this input here and to see the behavior of all these 4 lines here. So I think this is the system which is closed to the Chromatron system. So the Chromatron system is the second system which was patented by Lorentz. He is also the inventor of the cyclotron, and he had a Nobel Prize also. The Chromatron system uses actually a focusing which is closed to the screen. So for that purpose, there are for each a triplet of vertical phosphor lines. You have 2 electrodes, which permits a deflection of the beam closed to the front here. And depending on the differential voltage applied between these 2 lines, you have a deflection on the right or on the left. So this permits the selection of a particular color line depending on that voltage. So one more time, effectively, you should have a synchronization between these signals, which permits actually to select at a particular time one particular color. So you should have a synchronization between these signals and the video signal. Okay, so let's see the rest of the circuit. The rest of the circuit is quite a classic. So this circuit is actually a fast comparator. Okay, so you can see here the first step of the reverse engineering, and this is the complete schematic of that circuit. So this is effectively a comparator made with discrete parts. So I think it was difficult maybe to find a suitable integrated circuit which permits to perform this kind of task. And you can see also that the negative rail of this comparator is supplied with this common collector PNP transistor, and the base of this transistor is connected actually to the intensity potentiometer. Okay, so this permits to adjust the negative voltage of the comparator and to have the control of the intensity. So there is also an adjustment here which permits probably to adjust the minimum value of this intensity. So this is on that board. This is this potentiometer here. This one. So this is the video signal actually. It is available on the rear connector between terminals 13 and 25 of the sub-D connector. On that board, we have also the horizontal deflection circuit, which is here. The schematic is here. So the main part is a CA1394, which is this deep 8 IC here. So this is a part which is specifically designed for the horizontal deflection. Okay, so we can see this part here. So the output of this part drives this MOSFET. okay, which permits to drive the deflection coil, which is here, and the flyback transformer, which is inside this black box here on the rear of this instrument. So I have measured the small resistance between the blue and red wires. Okay, so this is obviously the primary of the flyback transformer, and you have different secondaries. One is used for the very high voltage for the acceleration of the CRT. So there is a variable inductor in series, so this permits to adjust normally the horizontal amplitude. So this is this big coil here. And of course, we have the synchronization, which is performed using this driver. So this is a part of the quad driver, which is this SO16 part here, 175. So as you can see, we have also a differential input for the horizontal synchronization. The last circuit is a vertical deflection. The vertical deflection is performed using this specific part, so I don't know exactly the part number because there is a dissipator, so I don't want to remove the dissipator, so I don't know the part number of that part, but I have done a partial reverse engineering. So you have the deflection coil here, the current flowing into that coil flows also into that resistor, so the feedback here is the current flowing into the coil. You have this capacitor, it is a coupling capacitor, it is this one here. The capacitor is manufactured by CDE. So the temperature is 85 degrees only. So I don't know if this capacitor is still operational. Can be interesting to measure or to change this capacitor. As you can see, these capacitors are also 85 degrees. Okay, so we have also, of course, vertical synchronization. So it uses another differential line driver here. Okay, so there is a differential input, and this is fed to that pin, which permits the synchronization of the sawtooth. So this is the complete pinout of the sub-D25 connector. So we have the power supply input here. We have a bulb connected to that line, which permits the illumination of the case and maybe the display. The two push buttons are connected to these two pins, 6 and 7. Then we have a differential input for the clock of the PLL. For the selection of the color. We have the differential lines for the horizontal and vertical deflections, and we have the differential video signals here, pin 13 and 25, they are close together. And there is one pin, I don't know the function, it is connected to the power supply board. So I didn't do the reverse engineering of the power supply board, it is not very exciting. It is maybe a power good or something like that. The circuit on the power supply is like that, so you have a diode. The cathode is connected to the terminal here, and you have a Zener diode and a resistor. So it is maybe a power good circuit, or maybe this line can be connected to ground to do something. I will do the test on the next video. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.